What's up, everyone? It's your boy Norn Radd89 here, bringing you another video. And of course, we're continuing our Friday the 13th review series, and today we're going to be on to part 5. That's Friday the 13th part 5, A New Beginning. A lot of people herald this one as you can really love this one. I've seen so many people that have really loved this one. It's in their top 3 or possibly even their favorite. And I've seen people that completely hate this one and it's at the bottom of the barrel. They can't stand it. And we're going to be getting into spoilers, of course. This movie's pretty old, so if you haven't seen this film, you need to go run out and watch it and then come back so we can talk about it. Now let's get into this video. Roll it. Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning, our second entry into the Tommy Jarvis chapter of the Jason Voorhees storylines with the 3 films, because we have the first one, Part 4, then Part 5, and then Part 6, all deal with the Tommy Jarvis storyline. This one, he's kind of like a troubled teen, and he goes to a place where they take care of those kind of kids, you know, that all have really bad pasts or have really problems or are mentally challenged kind of thing. And that's where kind of the chaos ensues and what kind of happens. And we're going to get right into the spoiler right away. Is a lot of people don't like this film is because it isn't Jason. We have a Jason Voorhees copycat in this film. Our killer at the end of the film ends up being Roy Burns. We have a different style look for Jason with the mask. He's got the blue chevrons on his mask, and he has kind of like a plain kind of jumpsuit kind of thing, similar to Michael Myers. Like, that's kind of his outfit, very blue, just very plain and plain Jane, and that's Roy Burns. And he is actually one of the paramedics in the beginning, as we find out his son was murdered by another patient there at the place. His son was staying there at that troubled teens place, and he gets killed in the beginning by another person. So that's what kind of drives Roy to do what he does in this film. Why I enjoy this film, and I do have fun with this film, is it has a really good campy nature to it. It's really fun and got some really great characters. And I think Roy does a great job of turning this into a whodunit story, because pretty early on when I watched this film, I kind of did realize it was not Jason. Like, you know, when you're really, really young, you kind of maybe don't remember. You're like, oh, I don't remember. Like, he crashed onto the thing. I just remember that happened. I don't remember the reveal of the face, and it was somebody else and all that kind of stuff. So, like, there's certain things you don't remember when you're really young and you see these movies. But as I got older, there's little hints and little things going on throughout the film that really tell you that it's not Jason Voorhees in this film. And it's kind of a whodunit story, besides the fact that there's a very lingering shot on Roy's face when we see his son when they find the murdered body, and his paramedic buddy is probably one of the sleaziest, grossest assholes that, you know, comes across like as just a horrible person, and he's like making a joke, the paramedic, and you can see Roy's face, and if you really pay attention to that, you can tell that that's some kind of, you know, lingering thing for some reason that we're going to find out later in the film. Another great thing about this film is we have the introduction of some great side characters besides Tommy Jarvis. I don't think this is the best Tommy Jarvis performance, but we're still talking about positives. I still like it, but in the Tommy Jarvis 3, this isn't my favorite performance. But I like the side characters in this film. Like Reggie the Reckless is probably one of the greatest side characters, and then his, I believe it's his older brother. Like, they're just great. So many good side characters, and even the lady who's helping run the place for troubled teens. Like, there's a lot of good characters to like, and I think they're very realistic and fun to be around in this film. Like, that's what's cool about this movie is, besides the gore, besides all the horror factor and the death and stuff, this is really a fun movie, and it really does feel like the 80s. Add to that, we probably have some of the most greatest just kills. Like, Roy gets some nasty kills. Like, he gets down, he gets dirty, and it's honorable to mention him in the name, in the same vein as Jason Voorhees, I think, because, you know, Roy, a vengeful father, and he might not have been there for his son and all that kind of stuff and been a great dad, but when he goes balls to the wall and goes after these teens, he really goes after them. And like I said, the kills is still very top-notch, and this is still before the NPA started really neutering these horror slasher films and all that kind of stuff. Plus, the score and the music is really good in this film too, and I like the vibe, the pace. It's got a lot of good nighttime sequences, but also some great daytime sequences. And like I said, it just has a good family feel to it, because you can feel the the community they're trying to build with these children and trying to help these children. And that's what I like about this film too, is it felt a little different from our typical, oh, Jason's coming to the camp thing. And that was probably another sign too, is it doesn't take place at Camp Crystal Lake and all that kind of stuff. So that's probably another sign that this isn't Jason Voorhees and all that kind of stuff. So, but I still think they tackled this film very well. But there are a few negatives with this film, so let's get into them. And in terms of negatives, this isn't a big one, but I think this was a film that was ahead of its time. It has a campy nature to it and comical stuff in it, and a great sheriff too. Like the cop in here, the sheriff is funny too. I really love him. And it's just, I don't know, it's not as fine-tuned as part 6. When we get to part 6, we'll talk about that, but for this one, it's not as fine-tuned as that. It's like the early version of Jason when he wasn't as horrifying, he wasn't as terrible, and they're trying to take it to a campy kind of silly nature to it, but still have fun and rock and roll and, you know, have gore and blood and everything. They wanted all those elements. So this was kind of an early version of, for me, what part 6 would be, a more fine-tuned version of this film. And I know it sucks because I do like Roy. I do like Roy. He's a good character. But just the design of him, he's not one of my favorite designs of a Jason character. And I think the whole fact that we do find out it's Roy at the end, it's like, it does take away a little bit from it. But it is a fabulous third act. Like that, we'll add that to the positives. We can do that real quick. The third act in this film is fabulous. But also the Tommy Jarvis performance, this is my least favorite. Out of the 3, the Tommy Jarvis performances, this one is my least favorite. So those are some things that kind of hinder this movie from being in the upper echelon of the great Friday films for me. I still have a blast with this film, but for me, this isn't, like I said, in the upper echelon of the great ones for me. It's just a really, really good Jason film. But thanks for sticking around with me all for this chat and retrospective Radd review of talking about Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. Of course, I would love to hear from all of you. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this film. And before we get to that, we got to give my rating for this film. And Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning, for me, is going to get a 7.5 out of 10. Like I said, this is still a very solid Friday film for sure. I rewatch it very often. But as I said, I would love to hear from all of you in the comments section, so definitely share, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss a thing on the channel, because we're going to be on to Part 6, Jason Lives, next. Have a safe and happy day, everyone. Peace out.